I don't care how close or how far away your final exam is, you have still got time to lock in. What does it actually mean? We say it a lot, but I need to build a clear picture in your mind as to what locking in actually looks like. There are two parts to locking in. One is the emotional side. You need a reason to lock in, a purpose, a mission. What does locking in actually achieve for you? Why is it important that you lock in at this time in particular? What are you missing out on or losing if you don't? The second side is your actions. What are you doing as a result of this feeling, this purpose? What does locking in actually look like to you? Does it mean spending less time with friends or less time watching TV shows? Does it mean sleeping enough so you have enough energy to take the exam? Does it mean prioritizing all the responsibilities in your life and putting studying at the top? All of these things have got to be taken into account when you say you're gonna lock in. But time is a key pressure. Do you have enough time to go through all of these processes? Yes, you do have enough time to lock in. Yeah, sure, things you do years before the exam can pay off. But there are circumstances where things you do minutes before the exam can pay off too. In my final GCSE exams, I had things I did years ago that helped, but I was also in the toilets 20 minutes before my chemistry exam, cramming information about water treatment that came up 20 minutes later. You can't control how much time you have left in this present moment, but you can control what you do with the time you have left. We'll address the emotional side, then the actions. This is the number one mistake that people will make. People often start studying hard, saying they're going to pull all-nighters, which I don't recommend, by the way, saying they're going to go to the library to get all this work done, and maybe that lasts for a day. Maybe that lasts for 2 days, maybe even a whole week, but they eventually crawl out of that behavior. Why? Emotions are the root of our actions. We do something because we felt something first. In this scenario, the feeling or reason just wasn't strong enough to produce anything. If our emotions and our beliefs don't align with what we want to achieve, then we are going to find it way more difficult to get there. Do you have a reason to lock in? Because clearly right now you don't. We've got to find you a reason that you actually care about. A lot of people are only going to encourage you to use positive emotions. You know, that cookie cutter clean, feel good, lucky girl syndrome, hashtag manifestation, motivation, positive energy. That I am so cool and so smart and I am so going to get that degree. Woo, ow. Darn it. Now, there's nothing wrong with feeling positive about your future. I use this method to motivate me sometimes. But when you've tried this method and it hasn't worked for you, or it feels fake or untrue to you, or you're just not in that emotional state, then don't use it. Use your negative emotions instead. Negative emotions are scary. We spend our whole lives trying to avoid them. But when turning to positive emotions doesn't work, they are our best option. Unpopular opinion, sometimes fear is good. You don't voluntarily stick your hand into a fire because you are aware of the consequences, the pain it produces, the burn you might get, the fear of losing your dear fingers. That's enough to motivate you not to do that action. The difference between sticking your hand into a fire and not studying is the fact that one of these negative effects is instant. Bam! You just stuck your hand into a fire, you got burned. And in the other case, the karma comes a lot later. It could be weeks down the line, months down the line, when the negative effects start to kick in. The negative effects don't feel as real, don't feel as present in the moment, so it's easier to just ignore it. But I have an easy life hack for you when you're in those situations. If you're scrolling on social media when you need to be studying, before you make a decision as to whether to go study or not, I want you to do this. Pause whatever you're watching. You don't even have to click exit yet. Just pause, mute, close your eyes. I want you to spend the next 30 seconds or so thinking about what you're actually doing here. You probably have your phone in between your hands right now. I want you to instead imagine that your phone is a results slip, or it's your phone that has a picture of your results slip on it. You got your grades back from your most recent exams. Taking all of your previous actions into account, all the times you didn't study and continue to scroll on social media, please tell me what it says. Probably not the best you can do. You are likely to feel a tinge of disappointment from this exercise. Open your eyes. Realize that this is the path you are going down. Now, make that decision. This exercise is so good because it forces you to come to terms with your reality and accept the brutal truth of what you're doing right now, instead of when it actually happens weeks or months down the line. It's the equivalent of putting your hand just close enough to have those little sparks of the fire shock you, but not close enough to burn off your entire hands. But one thing that can really help with this exercise is your why, your mission, your purpose. If you don't feel enough emotion when you did that exercise, it probably means your why isn't strong enough. This why, this reason, is what's going to keep you studying when it feels impossible. In fact, we're going to make this video interactive now. Before I even give you any reasons, I want you right now to pause the video and think. Answer the question, why do I study? Why am I even watching this video on studying right now? Pause and play when you're ready. Now, I'm going to need you to rank that reason on a scale of 1 to 10 in terms of how important it feels to you in this exact moment right now. Not how important it will feel on results day, not how important it will feel an hour before you take the exam, but how important it feels to you right now. If it isn't at least a 7 out of 10 on the importance scale, you honestly cannot sit there and expect yourself to have locked in right now. You can't seriously expect yourself to lock in if you don't care about the reason you're locking in for. There are loads of reasons why people study. I'm going to read you some and put some up on the screen. If you relate to any of them, you can use it as your new reason if it wasn't a 7 out of 10. Is it to get into a high-paying job? Is it to get a good enough grade to pursue your passions in life? Is it to prove people around you or yourself wrong? Is it to get academic validation from the people around you? Is it because you genuinely like your subject and want to learn more? Is it to avoid feeling left behind? Now, if you've identified that you relate with any one of these, I need you to get to the root of why you relate to them. Interrogate yourself. Why is it that I want to get a high-paying job? Or that I want to avoid feeling left behind? The answers might seem obvious to you, but you need to tell yourself them to be able to look the brutal truth in the face. The elephant in the room is that some of these reasons are toxic. A study YouTuber promoting toxic ideologies? Where have I seen that one before? Feel free to disagree and start a war in the comments, but it is in my humble opinion that the ones like get academic validation or prove people around you wrong, I only think those reasons become toxic when it is the only reason why you're doing something. Got no other reason to do this. I hate the subject. I just want academic validation. Yeah, no, honey, you are going to fall down a very steep hill by doing that. It's a pretty healthy idea to make sure that there are some reasons in there that are just for yourself. Like, I want to push myself and see how far I can go. Now, so maybe you've chosen a reason and you feel more for this reason, but you feel like you don't quite care a 7 out of 10 level yet. If so, the key is to change your perspective. And there's actually a pretty easy way to do that. While I could speak about this all day, we've got to get to the action side of this video. So if you need more help on reasons and perspective changing, I've already made a whole video on it, link here. When it comes to actions, the biggest downfall I see with people trying to lock in is that they are not being specific and strategic. You've got to be both. Level 1 is finally saying things to yourself, writing things down. You know, the James Clear Atomic Habits at 9 a.m. on Saturday, I am going to run for half an hour around the park. That's good. You've got a time, a date, a location, how long you're going to be doing that activity, the specifics. Most people do not even get to this stage. Most people are like, I'm going to lock in. Where's the locking in? To master level 1, you want to get as specific as you reasonably can about the action you're doing. In order to do this, you're going to force yourself to answer the who, what, when, how, why. So who? Obviously you, but I mean, do you have a study companion? Are you like me and mainly study by yourself? What? What subject? What topic within that subject? What lesson within that topic within that subject? How? Are you using flashcards? Are you making the flashcards? Are you making notes from a textbook? Are you completing and marking past papers? Why? Why did you choose this method in particular? Are you trying to memorize? Yeah, flashcards are the way to go. Are you trying to gain new information that might not be in your textbooks? Yes, the podcast is the way to go. Why did you choose this topic in particular? Is it a topical lesson that you've genuinely struggled with and that you need more help in? Or are you just reviewing the same information that you already know and already are secure in to try and feel better about yourself? The people who are locking in and getting those grades know the answer to all of these questions. Until you can answer all of these questions, you cannot reasonably expect yourself to just magically start locking in. But hold up. Let's keep in mind that this is level 1. Our level 2 is to be strategic. In order to be strategic, you have to know yourself. You have to know your habits, your emotions. And if you don't know yourself now, you better get to know yourself well. For example, I tend to be really go, fast-paced, logical, productive in the mornings. So I will block out all of my work tasks in the mornings. I will get to school very early, then study like French or English language. Then I tend to be more emotional, more creative, more in my feels in the evenings. So I block out all my free time, socializing time, or my music technology, creative work to complete in the evening. If I were to reverse the order of that, it would completely mess up my emotions, my state of mind, the course of my day. Believe me, I have tried and failed miserably. Stop working against your body. Start working with your body instead. Now again, I can only say so much in just one video. If you need more help on how to do this, guess what? I've already made a video on it, which I will link here. The second thing I need you to do action-wise is to use your teachers. Teachers are there for a reason. The absolute bare minimum you need to do is to sit there and listen to what they say. If you want to lock in properly and go above and beyond, you've got to do a bit more than that. If you've done like an English paper, let's just say, that's not something you can mark yourself. You need an expert to mark it for you. Use them for that. If you've done a maths paper and you can mark it yourself, but there was one question that you didn't really get the answer for and the mark scheme just wasn't making sense, use your teachers for that. I beg of you, their job is to make sure that you're getting good grades. Use them for that. You should do that when you have good teachers who know how to teach. But as I have said before, it's true, some teachers, absolute crap. But that's why online learning platforms exist. There is so much information online that is there for you to just grab. For example, if you're learning mathsy, sciencey, computer programming, STEM kind of subjects, then today's sponsor should be able to help. Brilliant is an online learning platform where you learn by doing. It has thousands of interactive lessons in maths, data analysis, programming, and AI. If you're tired of boring, dull lectures, this is the right place for you. Each lesson is filled with interactive activities that allow you to play with the way concepts work, to aid in your understanding and your growth. This is proven to be one of the most effective methods of learning, and of course it would be, since it's also taught by award-winning professionals in STEM. For example, If you're learning data science, Brilliant has just launched a ton of new content that involves dealing with real life data in real life scenarios. These lessons are perfect for beginners to use as they show detailed, accurate visualizations of the data, which helps you to understand the science behind the figures. Now, I did get you guys a pretty good offer. If you click the link in my description or scan the barcode, you can access all that Brilliant has to offer for a whole 30 days for free. You can also get 20% off the annual subscription. Again, if you want a whole 30 days off of thousands of interactive courses for free, go to brilliant.org/girlandwild, and you can also get an extra 20% off if you choose to continue with the annual subscription. What are you waiting for? Now, if you don't know where to start with these actions and studying, look no further. My entire channel is based on that. But I'll say one last action that will be able to help you to lock in. Get into an accountability routine. So, you may have heard of accountability buddies. Maybe it's a friend that you study with and you're both responsible for making sure that you guys are studying at the right times, at the right place, because you're both doing it. But I want to take the focus off the buddy and put the focus onto the routine. For example, on most days, I get to school super early to study. There's a teacher in the study area who always sees me come to study early in the morning. It's less pressure than an accountability buddy, but there's still that little expectation of I should probably go to school early and I should probably get to the study area. It's more about creating a routine that serves you and makes you used to studying at a certain time, a routine that best serves you and helps you to become your best self. Now, if you need some more help on how to make this routine, this video could help. And if you don't have much time yet and you need to cram lots and lots of information in order to lock in, this video should be able to help too. Go demolish that paper.